Hi, my name is Kane, and I'm going to show you how to create your own DVD from your movie. So essentially, this is an example of what we are going to be creating. If you click on the preview button here, you can also hit F9 on the keyboard. What it will do is go directly into this screen, and what this does is that this screen shows what happens when the user places the DVD into the DVD machine. So you can see different types of buttons that I've created here. If you use the arrow keys on your keyboard, you can see that it navigates correctly. It doesn't jump from play to the secret vault, for example. It goes down to algorithms, and from secret vault it doesn't go up to play automatically. It has to pass through algorithms, and you can do that in Sony DVD Architect. So if you hit on algorithms, you can see that this button here, play all, is already highlighted, but you can also use the arrow keys as a menu, as a remote, and you can go through all these different types of bonus features in the DVD. If you hit back to main menu, it goes back to here, and you go to secret vault. Again, it highlights automatically to play all, and you can go to different types of bonus features here. And if you go back down, it goes back to main menu, and I'm just going to close this. So you can sort of see how everything is organized, and I'm going to show you how to create this basic DVD from this. So let's get started. So I'm just going to hit new to create a new project. So you can see here in DVD Architect it defaults to the blue menu here, and what we're going to first do is go into properties, file, properties, and then make sure that the disks that you're using is correct. So ours is going to be 4.7 gigabyte disk. You can change the bit rates per second, but I keep it at 8. You can go as high as up to 9.8, but we're just going to keep it at 8 here. For us, we would be using 16 by 9 instead of 4 by 3. So once everything is set up, you can leave this as default. So you hit OK. See, you can see the screen automatically change. I also like to create, so the next step is to create the background for this particular DVD. So I would go into Photoshop. I have this background already recreated, but I won't show you too much in Photoshop because it's not really a Photoshop tutorial. So to create this really fast, I'll hit Control N, and if you go to Film and Video, under the size you can select DVD, NTSC DV widescreen, leave everything by default, and it would show everything here with guidelines. If you hit on background, Control I to invert the colors. And then now I'm going to open up some of the artwork here. I'm just going to use this green texture, just drag it into the new screen, hit Alt, and then you can use your scroll to kind of zoom further away, and then you can kind of hold Shift to do this adjustment of what I'm doing. So what I'm just going to try to do is to replicate the main menu that we've already created here. So I'm just going to use the eraser tool, just kind of erase around this area here, just kind of create that same effect with the same menu that we had earlier. So now this is created. I'm just going to apply effect from filters, or sorry, it would be an image adjustments, hue and saturation, and I'm just going to colorize this and just make it kind of bluish, kind of dark, and bring up the saturation just a bit more. And I'm just going to change the fill to about 50%. I'm going to hit T to create a text, so T, and I'm just going to call it anything you want. We can call it a new movie called Runner. I'm just going to call it The Runner. So The Runner, and I'm going to hit V to select the pointer, hold Shift to make the text larger, and I'm just going to center this here, The Runner. Okay, so everything looks good so far. I'm not going to show you how to create this chalkboard look-alike text here. It's just an art that it's just a graphic that you can pull out, and it's similar to how I created this grunge texture in the background. Anyway, so hit Control Shift S to save it, and I choose a place to save it in your computer. I'm going to call this main menu, and you can leave it as PSD. Hit save, hit OK, go back to DVD Architect. Now you want to hit under themes over here, you want to hit corporate, because it would change the buttons to the way that I like it, because in the corporate template the menus are the highlight of the buttons are in a specific way which I like. So I like using corporate. So we're going to go ahead and delete menu 1, go to background media here, and right click on this drop down menu, hit replace, and we're just going to go down to the E drive, go to select that main menu thing, PSD file that you just created, hit open, and it'll load runner. So anything that you want to adjust really quickly, you can do it easily in runner here. Okay, so now we are going to make some buttons here. Button style, so just go to buttons, the tab, just create this, just drag in the normal button that you see, go to button style, text only, and let me just test something here. Yep, that's good, because in corporate this is the highlight that I like to use in these buttons. So now we're going to change the text. You can hit F2 and then you can just type in play. I like to use again impact as a font, and I like to make my text bold, and let's make this font size at 28, and I'm just going to shrink this right there like that, and I'm just going to hit play like that. So you've got your first button, you got your first menu. So now let's create, just hit Control C, paste, and then this you can call it bonus features. So let's call it bonus features. It might be a long text to put in here, but let's just see how it looks like. So I'm just going to adjust this here, just so that you can kind of see. If you go too far, the text would change, so you don't want that font size to change. Okay, I'm going to create it a little bit different from what you saw in the example. I'm just going to bring this lower here. So now you got two buttons and you got your main menu. So let's hit preview or F9, and now you can see that your button is highlighted as play and bonus features is right under that. Let's just double check with the arrow keys to make sure that they're performing how you want it. So if I hit left right now, it goes down to bonus features. If I hit right, it goes back up to play. If I hit up, it doesn't go anywhere, and if I hit down, it goes down to bonus features, and if I hit down again, it doesn't go anywhere. For me, the up and downs are good, but I don't like the left and right because it's just going up and down. I just want it to hold on bonus features if I hit left or right, and when I hit left or right, I just want it to hold on play. So I'll close this, I'll go into each button under navigation, and when I click left, you can see here that this thing that's selected here is broken link number 1. So if I hit left, it keeps it on broken link 1. And if I hit right, it keeps it on broken link up and down, which is correct. So I click on bonus features. If I hit left, it keeps it on 2. If I hit right, it keeps it on 2. And then up and down is correct here. So let's take a look again. So if I hit up and down, that's correct. Hit left and right, it doesn't go anywhere, which is exactly what I want. Okay, so you've got this. The next step would be making the audio for this DVD. Alright. I'm going to use Sony Vegas to create the music. So here we are now in Sony Vegas. I've got this master audio bus open up so that you can see where your audio would be clipping. You want your audio to be set at around -12 to about -6 dBs. So I'm just going to hit Control O to open up the music. You can open up anything you want. So I'm just going to choose something really quickly here. And I'm just going to delete this. Just going to go down to the music here. Just bear with me here. I just gotta listen to this for a second. Okay, we are going to start right here. This is where the DVD music would start. So you hit S to slice it. Let's go and double click on this file, and you can see the total time here. So normally DVD music is about 45 seconds, so you can do any length you like. I just like 45 seconds, so I'm just going to do this, and I'm just going to trim it off, and it's going to fade out in about a second. And I'm just going to change, by right clicking on this, you can change the type of you can choose from these options to fade out your music. And then at the beginning, I'm just going to fade in on this beat, on this beat here. So now let's test the music and pay attention to these bars here. It's a little high, it's going up a little high, so I'm just going to turn this down to about there. So now that's pretty much set to go. It's just gonna hit stop, double click on this, Control M to export, and it should bring up this menu here for you so that you can select on the output that you like to create this menu DVD music from. For some reason it's not doing that, so I'm just gonna go to render the new track. Okay, there we go. Alright, so for this I like to create 16-bit in stereo, and I'm just gonna choose a folder to save it, and it's gonna be E drive capture. I'm just gonna call this main menu music. Main menu music. Main menu. Okay, hit save. Once it's exported, I'm just going to do undo, hit undo, and I'm just going to go back to Sony DVD Architect here. Now this track here is empty, and it's because it's for your audio. So if you go to back here to background media, under the audio option, there's a drop down menu. If you click on that, change media to replace it, and you're just going to click on that new file you just created and hit open. Now there's one more thing to do, because right now when you hit play, when you put the disc in the DVD player, it's just going to play to the end and stop. So you want to go here to end action, and for this command here it says hold. You want to change it to loop, so that every time it goes to the end, you want it to always repeat its music. You always want to repeat itself. So let's go back to preview and just make sure that it's going to do that. So if you just click on this really quickly, you know that it repeats. So now you've got music, you've got the main menu, you've got two buttons, but they're linking to nowhere. So play, you want it to link to a movie. So a really simple option to do that is just go into just go to your movie that you've created, and just simply drag the movie into DVD Architect. For example, I'm just going to use this file here that we've done really quickly. It's rendered as MP4, but Sony Architect would render it into the proper MPEG-2 file that you need to use for DVDs. So under track media, you just want to check that you want to check a few things, because sometimes you do see interlacing, so you might want to play around with these. Play around with the progressive scan, lower field scan, and upper field scan. So I'm just going to leave this as progressive scan. And if you go back to menu by double clicking here, you hit the play button, you go to action, and then under the broken link, you want to link it to fight rough in. So now when you hit preview, you go into play, it would play this particular movie. So you can see that this could link to your movie essentially. And then close this. You want to double click on this, just check on its end action. You want it to go to its most recent menu, which is correct here. Okay, so now that we've got most of these things covered, you know how to create the button, you know how to create the menu and link the music together and repeat everything. I'm going to show you how to create a second menu. Okay, so if you click on bonus features, it's a broken link here. So you want to right click to insert a new menu, and you want to just rename this and call it bonus features, just to keep everything organized. So if you double click here, it goes back to the main blue menu. Just delete menu 2, go back to themes, hit corporate, under backgrounds. So we need a new background for this. We're just going to go back to here, and we're just going to change this up a little bit here. We're just going to call this, I'm going to hit T. We're in Photoshop now. I'm going to hit T, and I'm going to just type bonus features right here. And I'm just going to hit V to bring me to the pointer, and I'm just going to bring this up like so. I'm not going to change the font size just to keep things consistent. I'm just going to put a little bit of blur in here, just so when we fill in the types of different features here, this background doesn't interfere with anything. So I'm just going to go to filter underneath blur. I'm just going to go to whatever Gaussian blur is how they pronounce it. I'm just going to do a 2.0. Maybe that's too strong. So maybe 1.5. See how that is. Maybe that's too strong. 1. Okay, I'm just going to try again here. I'm just going to try 1 right away. So let's do 1. Okay, that's good enough. So now I'm going to just hit Control Shift S, and I'm going to call this bonus features. Okay, hit save, and it's saved as a PSD. So if you go back to DVD Architect, you just go back to background menu, go to video option, click on the drop down menu, hit replace, hit on bonus features and open it. And for some reason it's going over the title safe. So I've got my title safe set up here. So this is a no-no, because on sometimes television screens are inconsistent on how they display certain material on the screen itself. So in this case, it's just lying on the action safe line. So we got to bring the bonus features down a bit. So I'm just going to go back to Photoshop. And I don't know why this does that, but underneath here I'm set up already in the title safe line, but it doesn't show up correctly on DVD Architect. Anyways, I brought this down, so I'm just going to hit Control S, and I'm just going to go back to DVD Architect, and there we go. It moved automatically, so it's a little bit low. I'm just going to bring it back a little bit higher, just about there. Hit Control S, saves it, and there we go. That brings it up correctly. So now we need to create the buttons. So I'm just going to go back to the main menu here, and I'm just going to go ahead and Control C. This means copy. So I'm going back to bonus feature and Control V to paste. Now that is the play button from the main menu, but I'm going to change it to menu. So hit F2 and then retype this as menu. And I'm not going to change the font size. I'm just going to move it over here to the bottom of the screen. Under action, you want destination to be main menu, or menu is, we just call it menu. So if you double click on this, it'll go back to main menu here, which is what we want. So bonus features, under action, we want to make sure it's not a broken link, but it goes into bonus features. So now when you click on it, it goes into bonus features. You got your main menu there, and now we want to create some actual bonus features. So maybe one of them, so hit F2, maybe one of them could be behind the scenes. And I'm just going to stretch this out, and you can see that the text changes in size, so you don't want that to happen. I'm just going to, if you can't see it, you can always zoom into 200%, and you can also do 100%, and you can also change this so you can see better. So I'm just going to hit Control C and then Control V to save this. Another one might be photo gallery, and I'm just going to make this smaller here. And let's say Control C, Control V. Another one might be B-roll footage. Okay, so we got several types of options here now. So let's see here. So we've got all this. So I'm just going to go back to the drop down menu here, auto zoom, and I'm just going to adjust some of this here. Hit preview, and you don't want this highlight to be on a menu. Oh yes, one more thing is that you want it to play all. So I'm just going to create another one here, and I'm going to call it play all. It's the option, play all. Just shorten this a little bit here. Okay, so now you've got play all, behind the scenes, photo gallery, and B-roll footage. So you want when you go to preview, you want the menu to be not highlighted. You want play all to be highlighted. So in order to do that, it's really simple. You just click on play all. You realize that it's all the way at the bottom, so you just want to move this up. And let me just double check here. There you go. And now play all is highlighted. So that's the first thing that you want the users to hit, is to hit play all in this example. And now you just want to double check its navigation. So this is a little bit complicated and it will take some time. So play all, it's number 1. You want it to go left, number 1. Right is number 1. Up should be going down to number 5. I know it's number 5 because if I click on this part is highlighted. I'm not sure if you can see that on screen, but if you go up, it goes down to number 5. If you go down, it goes down to number 3. So it goes down to number 3. Okay, number 3, if you go left, it stays on 3. Go right, it stays on 3. Go up, it goes to 1. Goes down, it goes to 4, which is correct. So number 4 stays on left 4, right 4, up is to 3, down is to 5, which is correct. And up is, so left is 5, right is 5, up is 4, which is correct. Down is 2. Down is 2, which is correct. And you might want to do right is going to 2 as well. Okay, so now that all the navigation is set up properly, oh yeah, the menu button. So left is going to, let's say 5, left is going to 5, right is staying at 2, up is going to stay at 2, down is going to stay at 2. Okay, so now let's go to preview. This should be highlighted. When I use the arrow keys on the keyboard, I go up to B-roll, that's correct, and I go down to menu, and it stays on menu. I click all, so I click left on menu, it goes to B-roll. When I click right on B-roll, it goes to menu, so that's correct. When I click right on photo gallery, nothing happens because I didn't set that up. So everything is set up properly here. Okay, so now I'm going to import music. We're going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to take a different section of music here. So we've ended right there. I'm just going to hit S to select, and I'm just going to trim this to about 45 seconds, which is around there. And I'm just going to cut it off at about there. That's correct. And for here, that's fine. And if the music is too low, like in this case, I want it a little bit higher. So hit right click on this clip, hit H on the keyboard, which brings you to switches. Hit N to normalize. Now all the music is adjusted for louder volume. So if you go near the end of the music, it's a bit loud. So I'm just going to bring that down a little bit here. And if you go to the beginning of the music, it is what it is. I'm just going to hit V. I'm just going to do a gradual increase in music here. So and then a slow descend. So let's see how that plays out. I'm just going to fast forward here just to double check. I'm looking at this area just to make sure that the music is consistent. Okay, that's pretty good. So I'm just going to double click on this, Control M to export. And it's taking forever for that to come up. So okay, so now we're just going to call this bonus feature music. Hit save and render. So once everything's rendered, just go back to Sony DVD Architect, go back to background media, under audio, hit replace, and you want to find that bonus feature music. So now that's set up, and you want to go to end action instead of hold. You want to make sure that's on loop. You want to check all your features before you export this particular DVD. Sorry, I thought I stopped my recording there. You go to play all, and you go to behind the scenes, everything's good, and you got the music happening. You go to main menu, you got the music happening there. It goes into bonus features, so everything seems to be looking good. Now the next step I'm going to show you is to create a playlist. Okay, is to create play all playlist. So right click, create playlist. Let's see here, insert playlist. So right now the only thing that's in a playlist is the fight rough in, so just hit OK. Just call this, just double click here and click on this, click on play all, go to action, and you want the destination to go to playlist 1. Destination item, it would obviously be rough in. So that's the first one. Well, that's the movie, so you want to add something else in here. So I'm just going to go into file. Let's just select some random things here. Let's just go into here. I'm just going to drag a few things in here. Just to show you as an example. So I've got 3 different kinds of options here. I got 3 different types of videos here that I'm dragging into the playlist. So under play all, you want to go to action, playlist, and then the destination item would be fading. So fading is number 1. So now when you hit F preview, you hit play all, the first thing that comes up would be the fading movie, which is correct, fading. And then the next one, when they hit the next on the remote here, it would jump to the animal movie, and then the next one it would jump to this particular movie. So we're just going to close this. So that was keeper making. So that's how you create the playlist. That's very simple. And next I'm going to show you how to create a photo gallery. So go to insert picture compilation, double click on this, and you just want to go to picture compilation tab, and I'm just going to go back to this folder here and drag some pictures in. So I'm going to drag some hands and some of this, and I'm just going to drag this. Sorry, I did the wrong thing. I'm just going to go back and delete this. Go back to here, drag this into there, drag the hands, and drag some other stuff. Let's do that. Okay, so now we've got 3 pictures in here. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Okay, so now you go back to bonus features. You want to link photo gallery to the picture compilation. So under action, you want to go to destination, and you want it to go to picture compilation number 1. If you click on picture compilation 1, you can change some general stuff here. Each slide, you can change its length. If you have a ton of pictures, I'm not too sure how to change each length, because they do change. You might be able to select all and then maybe change to 3 seconds, for example, and then just double check to make sure each of them are 3 seconds. Yeah, that's correct. You just select all and you can change all of them to 3 seconds. Okay, so now let's go back to bonus features, hit the preview button, and let's go to photo gallery. It would go to photo gallery, and at 3 seconds it should change pictures. Right there it did. So 1, 2, 3, it should change, and 1, 2, 3, and then it should go back to bonus features after this, which it does. And if you hit play all, it goes to the first movie, which is fading, which it is fading. And then if you hit next on the remote, it goes to the animal movie, and you hit next on the remote, it goes to making keeper. So let's go back, let's close this. So everything is correct. Under playlist, if you hit all, it goes to fading, animal movie, and keeper making. If you go to photo gallery, it goes to this picture first, animal, and then it goes to this picture, and then this one, and then this one, and they're all set at 3 seconds, which we changed manually. And for behind the scenes and B-roll footage, you go to action, and then you can, under destination, you link the media that you want to select, that you want it to go into. Okay, so you've pretty much got a DVD here, so you just want to make sure you check everything, make sure everything is playing right. And once you do that, the next step is to create the actual disc. So by doing that, hit make DVD. Under this window, hit prepare, and then navigate to the area in which you want to save your DVD render file to. So I'm just going to create a new folder called DVD. Okay, that's where I want to save the video TS and the audio TS folders. I'm just going to hit OK, click next. You just want to read some of this information here, just saying that it's going to recompress, which is fine because it's a, for mine I dragged in a wave. So I'm just going to hit next here, hit finish, and it's just going to start rendering this. So I'm just going to cancel this. If you wanted to burn using Sony DVD Architect, you can do that by going to make DVD, burn. Same thing, you navigate to the folder you want to save this information in, which is in the E drive, capture, DVD, okay, next, and read those things, next. And here, you can select the runner. You can type that in, the runner, and then you want to always, I like to burn at 8 times, and then select your burn, and then eject when done. It's unnecessary, and you'll hit finish. And we want to put a DVD in there, obviously. So what it would do, it would render out the disc, and then after it's done rendering, it would prepare the file. After the preparation is completed, it would burn the disc, and all that is done in DVD Architect. So there you have it. So that's how you make a DVD with your own movie. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thanks for watching.